you are doing great and you are trying and you are doing well, but you still criticize yourself because you feel like you don't have as much money as the next person. You don't have a car yet. You don't have a home yet. Maybe you have what is important to you. And what is important to you is not the car or the home. And what is important to you is not like a super luxurious long term. What's important to you is experiences in the current term. And nobody can tell you that you're wrong. Hi team, welcome back to another video and thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you guys. And if it is your first time here, I'm andiswa.mojapelo, and on this channel we chat about all things related to managing our money and adulting in general. Now today guys, we're going to do a quick story time, and I'm also going to share with you my money philosophy, or rather some of the things that I believe about money, because I actually realized after the story time that I'm going to share with you guys that sometimes I dive so quickly into money topics and financial education topics and the jargon and explaining those and all of those things, which is great, but it takes away from having a soft conversation about where I stand with money. What do I really believe about money? Am I a hoarder of money? Am I a money pincher? Am I a YOLO, you only live once, so you know what, live your best life type of thing? And today we're talking purely about that. Where do I stand with money? What are some of my beliefs around money? How do I value money and all of those things? Now, these two scenarios that happened in my personal life inspired me to do this video and share it with the team, which is you guys, right? The first scenario is I had a conversation with a friend of mine regarding her emergency savings. So basically, we were talking about the fact that she had watched one of my videos where I speak about the importance of having an emergency fund. And then she started working at building her emergency fund up, right? And she got to quite a good lump sum. I hope you guys are having money conversations with your friends like I am, honest and open ones. Anyway, so we were talking about how she had built up her emergency fund to a specific amount, and she was really excited about it. But then she mentioned to me that, you know what, now she's really low on that emergency fund, and it's actually close to nil because she had all these family responsibilities that she had to take care of, and it exhausted her emergency funds, right? And that really sucks. And I'm like, okay, cool. No, that really does suck. And then she seemed very disappointed about being at almost nil savings and not having an emergency fund. And I said to her, but why are you so, concerned about this? Because the main purpose of an emergency fund is to have money that is readily available for when unexpected things happen, like you having to help family out or wanting to help family out. Therefore, the emergency fund served its purpose. So why do you seem so disappointed in yourself, like you've done something wrong? And then she mentioned to me that she really liked the idea of having savings. Like she had watched these savings pile up into such a significant amount that she really appreciated having the savings there. That added a lot of value to her and it made her feel good about herself. So when that balance was gone, everything else started spiraling out of control with regards to how she manages her money, because she was let down and disappointed about the fact that she has saved this money and now had to use it. And I was like, whoa, but did you use it? What is the purpose of an emergency fund? And she's like, okay, no, I understand. And we agreed on it. And then I said, but was this an emergency? And she said, yes. And then I said, but when you use this money for the emergency, then does the disappointment come from? And after unpacking this topic a lot more, I discovered the fact that we sometimes value money in its monetary form. Like we like looking at the money. We like watching the money, and having it makes us feel good about ourselves. And I say this because I had a conversation with my husband similar to that scenario where I was like, but why do we sometimes feel guilty when we do things that we enjoy and things that we love, for people that we care about, with money that we have and that we've saved up, but we still have a sense of guilt and regret after that decision? Why is that the case? And I realized that I think sometimes we have this money thing all wrong, right? And I'm going to unpack that after the second story that I share with you. But just bear that in mind, where you've saved for something, you have the money for it, and now that you've spent it, you still feel guilty and you still feel like you've done something wrong and you don't want to use the money because you enjoy seeing that money in your account. Then the second scenario that inspired this conversation is I was having a different chat with a different friend, and he was basically telling me about the car that he had bought for himself. And then, he was telling me, now I bought this nice car for myself and blah, blah, blah. And he had recently gotten married and now he bought a nice car. But there was a reservation around telling me about the car and how much it cost him and all of those things, because he was like, you know what? I actually feel guilty for buying such an expensive car. I feel like it was the wrong decision. And then I asked him, why? Why do you feel like it was the wrong decision? He's like, no, the car's very expensive, but I had saved up for it. So I asked him, did you save up for it? He's like, yes. Did you use a balloon payment? No. Did you get a good deal on car finance? Yes, because I've got a good credit record. He even had a deposit for this car, but he still felt guilty because he felt like the car was a bit expensive and whatnot and whatnot. But the thing is, he had actually saved up for this decision, and he is in a comfortable position to actually take the car without necessarily, overusing debt or using other means that are not necessarily the best means in order to get the car. But for the mere fact that he had gotten this thing that he really wanted and had saved for, it made him feel guilty. And now, because of these two scenarios, I could relate, because I was also at a point in my life where I just enjoyed seeing money, like in my bank account. I enjoyed having money, like physical money, and it made me feel good, to a point where I was just I was just stuck on cash, on the knowledge of having the cash, because I wanted to see the money there. And I didn't particularly like investments because investments fluctuate in value. But that's a chat for another day. The point is, I was once at that point where seeing money, made me happy, and it made me feel comfortable, and it gave me a sense of security, but it did not make me happy. And what is the point of having this tool or this resource called money if it's not going to give you access to things that matter to you, to things that you value, and to things that you care about? So I just wanted to set the record straight and say, number one, I am not the money police, okay? I am not, I do not personally, in my personal capacity, advocate for people to pile up, piles of money to just look at them and not get any value out of them. I believe that money is a resource. It is a tool. It is a means to an end. You use that to get to what makes you happy, to get to what you value, to get to what matters to you, and to get to what is important to you. What that is entirely up to you, and nobody is in a position to judge what that is, as long as you are using your money for it. So sometimes I can come across as the fashion police, as the money police, or someone who believes in not spending anything at all. I honestly don't believe that that is even feasible, because what kind of life do you have if you don't do anything you enjoy, or if you don't have anything you enjoy, in as much as you really work hard? So I just wanted to set the record straight and say that I believe that money is a tool and a resource that gets you the things that you value and the things that matter to you. But there's a couple of things that I do advocate for and that I believe in. Number one, it's important that you define what matters to you, that you understand what value you are trying to get to from this resource or from this tool. Because if you don't do that, you are going to fall trap to valuing things that you don't honestly value, because you haven't had a conversation with yourself in isolation without any external factors to identify what it is that you value. So if you really enjoy good holidays, if you really enjoy being pampered like I do, if you really enjoy good food, whether it's being cooked at home or it's dining out, don't feel guilty for spending money on those things. Like, you shouldn't feel guilty. You should feel guilty if you are doing it, not valuing it, but because you want to take a good Insta pics, or because you've been pressured into it, then you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty if you are using money that is not yours, does not belong to you, and that belongs to the bank, in order to fund those things that you enjoy. Then you should feel guilty, because technically you can't afford what you are enjoying, and therefore you are using expensive means to get to it. Then I understand when you feel guilty. But if you are working towards something and you're in a comfortable position to afford it, then don't feel guilty for getting that thing. I don't think it's healthy to get to a position where you are just, being money conscious because you want to see this amount rise in your bank account and you don't get any true value out of it. So number one, understand what it is that you value and don't feel guilty when you are spending your money on that, when you are using your resource to get to that thing. The second thing is also be very wary about not being pressured or not being influenced to attach value where you don't necessarily see value. So what I mean by that is if I, for instance, do not enjoy clubbing, then a major part of my budget should not be going to clubbing because that's not something I genuinely enjoy. But if I enjoy traveling, or if I enjoy gadgets, or if I enjoy what other examples are there, whatever it is, like photography, then my money should be speaking to those things. It should be directed to those things. It shouldn't be directed to what my friends enjoy or what my peers are doing or my age group or what everybody in my age group is achieving and doing, right? So as long as you've got that down and you're not allowing external pressures to, influence what it is that you think you value. And a funny thing is that one of my friends once said, but what if I love everything, Andy? So what if I want the fast car? I want the best house. I want to go out. I want to travel. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And do you know what I told her? So I told her that that's fine, but it means that you need to work 5 times as much as me, like 5 times as hard as I work, because you want 5 times as much as I want. So she expected me to be like, now you can't like everything. Like something's wrong with you. You need to cut down. No, guys, you don't need to cut down. You just need to afford the things that you want, and you need to structure them accordingly. And I'll give you an example as well. When you go and see a professional, right, like a financial planning professional or a financial advice professional, that individual's job is not to like tell you or to help you structure your finances in a model that they believe is valuable. Their job is to ask you what you value, what is important to you, what it is that you want to achieve. What kind of retirement do you see for yourself? What kind of life do you see in the next 10 years? What are you looking to do now and in future? And then they use their tools and their knowledge to structure solutions that will get you there. It shouldn't be a case of like someone telling you that this is important, that's important, you need to do X, Y, and Z. No, it should be you telling them that this is what I value, this is what I don't value, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is what I want now, this is what I want in future. And then that individual must help you get there. So I just wanted to get, set the record straight that I'm not the money police, and I definitely personally do not believe in piling up piles of cash and just like, leaving them there and dying at the end. But I believe in value. I believe in, number one, you getting value out of your money. If at the end of every month you are comfortable with what you've spent your money on and there are no regrets, then you're doing a great job, I think. And if you also doing this with the money that you have and the money that you've saved up, and you're not using expensive debt to fund what it is that you want, then there's honestly no reason for us to feel guilty. There's no reason for us to feel like we're not accomplishing anything. Guys, there are people currently who work to travel. Like literally, they work and they travel. They work hard for 6 months and they travel for the rest of the year. They work hard for 6 months. Those people have no dependents, and what they want to do is experience the world and see the world, and that is what matters to them. And they are able to save and work hard for that, not to just watch money, but to get the experiences, which is what it is that they value. So the thing is, you need to be, financial education is important for helping you get there, for understanding what is needed for you to get there. For example, if you don't want to work forever, then there's certain things you need to do now in order to work forever, to not work forever, right? There's certain things you can do now. That's where financial education comes in. It's providing tools and solutions to get you to a specific place. But it's not telling you that you must get tax returns. I mean, tax returns are great, I love them, but if you don't want them and they're not valuable to you, then they're not valuable to you. I value good healthcare. I don't want to be in a position where I'm not happy about the type of healthcare that I need when I need to be hospitalized. That's something I value. Therefore, I look for solutions to help me get that kind of healthcare. You might say that you don't value healthcare for whatever reason. You value something greater than healthcare. I'm not here to tell you what's important to you and what you should value. The point is just providing education on what are some of the ways to get to the things that we value. But don't ever, ever, ever feel that, you know, when you're using money, you're doing a bad thing. When you're spending money, you're doing a bad thing. And I had a conversation with my husband about this where I was like, you know what? Sometimes I do fall trapped to that where I do something that I enjoy, so I'm not perfect, but I am very conscious of it, and that's why I'm chatting to you guys about it, because I also want you to be conscious about the fact that no one should define what value means to you. No one should define where your money should go and how it should go. Do you value a good retirement? Do you value traveling? Do you value a nice car? Do you value a beautiful home? Do you value experiences? Do you value starting a family? Maybe you don't want to start a family. Maybe you want to travel, you know. Maybe you don't want to be tied down in a committed relationship because you want to do something else. It's all up to you. Just understand what it is that you value. Do not allow social pressures to tell you what you value. And then after that, seek education and insight and assistance on how it is that you get there. But what I value is definitely going to be different from you. But just wrapping up this video, just don't find yourself in a position where you are doing great and you are trying and you are doing well, but you still criticize yourself because you feel like you don't have as much money as the next person. You don't have a car yet. You don't have a home yet. Maybe you have what is important to you. And what is important to you is not the car or the home. And what is important to you is not like a super luxurious long term. What's important to you is experiences in the current term. And nobody can tell you that you're wrong. Someone can just tell you, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about how that decision affects this? And all of those things. So I just wanted to set the record straight and have that chat as far as it's concerned, that on this channel, we believe that money is a resource and money is a tool to get what it is that you find valuable and what it is that makes you happy, whether that is building generational wealth, whether that is experiences, traveling, helping out the needy, educating, starting your own business, growing a legacy, whatever it is, it's all about what you value. Thank you so much for watching this video and making it till the end. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up and do consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't, so I can see you in the next one. Bye, guys.